What's up, everybody? I'm Stan, and welcome to Detail Comics, where we go over comics in detail. This week's weekly one-shot is all about everybody's favorite horse-faced hero, Beta Ray Bill. So Beta Ray Bill made his origin appearance in Thor 337 as a creation of Walt Simonson. And what we see is that Thor's, enjoying his day. He's drafted by Nick Fury to go investigate this disturbance on the outside of the Milky Way, and what he finds is a ship that appears to be a gigantic warship, and before he can really interact with it on any sort of peaceful level, it immediately opens fire and causes battle to ensue. So as he rips into the hull looking to disarm this thing from the inside, he runs into this guy. So this guy is the protector of this race of people that are basically encapsulated inside this ship, this fleet. And he immediately is just in conflict mode. And they just go blow for blow for blow for blow, and it's extremely evenly matched. And this is Thor with Mjolnir, and he is just taking every punch that Thor has to give, and Thor is feeling every punch that this guy has to give. And what happens is they get a little bit too close to Midgard, a little too close to Earth, and Thor reverts back to his Donald Blake persona. And this results in a very easy win for the Challenger. So the Challenger, knowing that he has these spoils of war in front of him, this hammer that has wielded so much power, he goes to pick it up. And what would normally happen? People wouldn't be able to grab it, but this man proved to be worthy. And that is where we see the real origin of Beta Ray Bill. So as he's taken possession of this, he's coated in Thor's energy, which causes him to accidentally be transported back to Asgard, and all kinds of craziness ensues. But there's this really great moment where they find that the worthiness of Beta Ray Bill is extreme surprise. It's a super huge surprise for Odin, for Thor, because they didn't really feel like anybody else was going to be able to be worthy of that. He didn't think that anybody other than his son was going to be able to wield that hammer. However, having a taste of this newfound power, this guardian of these people, Beta Ray Bill, he doesn't want to give up Mjolnir without a fight. So what does Odin do? He institutes a situation where they need to go to mortal combat. One-on-one battle to the death. So they send him out to the most desolate regions, these fire plains that nobody can survive. Death awaits even the gods out there, where they can have their one-on-one battle, and ultimately they let loose. There's no enchantments, there's no hammers, there's no nothing. It's just mano a mano, Beta Ray Bill versus Thor, Asgard versus Korbinite, and ultimately it's just the power that they're displaying just shatters the surroundings. They break mountaintops, they level entire hill structures. It's awesome. And what they do is they get worn down and they just battle for hours and hours and hours, and they go to deal the final blow to each other, and the concussion just sends the surrounding area into shambles, and they both fall at the exact same time. They are perfectly matched. They are even. Until we realize that this is a very hot climate, and Beta Ray Bill's Korbinite heritage gives him a bit of an advantage. His stamina is almost unlimited in a hot environment like this one. So he rises up, and knowing that all he has to do is destroy Thor in order to claim Mjolnir, he can't find it in him. This worthy opponent that has fallen in battle, that still has the ability to survive, he can't do it. So he takes him, he puts him on his shoulder, travels back to Asgard, and ultimately looks to claim his prize. What we realize is that this is just another reason why Beta Ray Bill is more than worthy enough to wield the power of Thor. So what does Odin do? He commissions the creation of another weapon. Being forged of the same Uru metal and enchanted in the exact same fashion as Mjolnir, Beta Ray Bill reaches into the molten pools of metal and grasps the hammer from the heat, bringing out what we now know as Stormbreaker. So as we had Mjolnir, now we have Stormbreaker, and they both wield the almost exact same power. So later on, Beta Ray Bill would play great roles. He would play huge roles in things like Ragnarok, where he would fight along the Asgardians as if he was one of their brothers, and he would grow to become recognized as one. They always welcomed him in Asgard. But at the end of Ragnarok, as the Asgardians were starting to fall, Thor transported him back to his home people so that he could take care of them. He's run into Galactus. He's been a god hunter. He's gone on and done great things. He was a part of the Thor Corps. And the Secret Invasion, he was in there. He was in Annihilation. He was in the Thanos Imperative and fought in the Cancerverse. Later, he'd become part of the Annihilators, where he was teamed up with Ronin and Silver Surfer and Quasar and Guardian of the Shi'ar Empire, and basically these Alpha Plus powerhouses, these 100 plus level, these breakers of worlds. That is how powerful and strong Beta Ray Bill is. However, things weren't always that way. The Korbinite structure isn't necessarily what you see as Beta Ray Bill. Their faces are different, their body structure is different, his size is massive compared to their regular people. So what we find is that Beta Ray Bill was chosen as a champion, a guardian of these individuals as they made their trip across space. And what they did was they took this person and they put hundreds of people into these trials that were both physical, they were mental, they were torturous, they were strenuous. People died by the hundreds. They were driven insane. Most people didn't survive this cause, this call to be a champion for their own race. But Beta Ray Bill was the one. He was the pinnacle. He was the exception to these rules. And that's why they made him their champion. And not only did they make him their champion, they genetically modified him. They hybridized him with one of the most dangerous carnivorous beasts of their entire world. They made him one of the most ferocious beings they could. They enhanced him with cybernetic implants. So essentially, in this cyborgish body, he's almost immortal. He doesn't age. He's got power that's rivaling cosmic entities. He's got speed greater than any individual human. He's got stamina that's almost limitless, especially when he's in hot environments. His reflexes exceed any kind of normal human understanding, and his durability is almost immeasurable. He is just absolutely a titan amongst titans, and that's why Beta Ray Bill is so cool. He's just a very interesting individual character that doesn't necessarily get a lot of screen time on his own. He's always a great supporting cast member, but he's ultimately one of the best, one of the most loyal, one of the most honorable individuals in all of the cosmos. And that gets proven over and over and over again. So if you want to read a little bit more about Beta Ray Bill, you should definitely check out Thor 337 to 341, 342-ish. There's also Stormbreaker, the saga of Beta Ray Bill, which shows his own people turn against him, fearing that he's become too close to the Asgardians and too godlike and too messianic. We also have Beta Ray Bill God Hunter, which is a story that's a simple 3 issues, but it shows him taking on Galactus. He was also, like I said, a part of the Annihilators, so Annihilators and Annihilators Earthfall is another great place to get more of your fix of Beta Ray Bill. He's also in the Thor's universe, as part of Secret Wars, where he was a partner for Ultimate Thor in this whole Thor Corps Murder Detective Society, and he just recently made his appearance in Unworthy Thor, where I feel like he's going to play a bigger part. So that's the origin and history of Beta Ray Bill, but I want to know if you guys have a favorite story or something like that, so hit me up in the comments down below and we can start that conversation. As always, if you like what you see, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe right there to get more news, reviews, and commentary on comic books, comic book movies, comic book TV shows and games, and anything and everything inside the world of comics.